Kopidana Balaba Grivadari Jaya Grivadari Kopidana Balaba Grivadari Jaya Grivadari Sodanandana Prahladananda Jaya Prahladananda Sodanandana Prahladananda Jaya Prahladananda Yamunadiravarachari Jaya Kunda Bihari Yamunadiravarachari Jaya Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunda Bihari Kopidana Balaba Grivadari Jaya Grivadari Kopidana Balaba Grivadari Jaya Grivadari Sodanandana Prahladananda Jaya Prahladananda So Prahladananda Prahladananda Jaya Prahladananda Yamunatira Bharachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamunatira Bharachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jayam Vishnupad Brahmams Prabhakacharya Asadhara Sadushi Sriman His Divine Grace Shalasi Bhaktivedanta Swami Raj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Gaur Premanande Haribo glories to these sound devotees all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskatya Desatarne Om Agyanam Tirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksur Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shigro Shiyuta Pada Kamalam Shigro Vaishnavam Scha Shirupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raganatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Prijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shiva Sakans Vitamscha Hey Krishna Karna Sindho Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prashubhanu Sudha Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kapa Drubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vyevacha Patidanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3 Chapter 25, The Glories of Devotional Service, text number 8. Tasya tvam tamaso dasya dusparasya paragam satchakshur janmanam ante labdvam me tvad anugrahat tasya tvam tamasom nasya dusparasyadya paragam satchakshur janmanam ante labdam me tvad anugrahat.
Tasyatvam tamason dasyam dushparasyadya paragam satchakshu janmanamante labdam me tvadanugraham.
Ladies. Tasya, that, tvam, you, tamasa, ignorance, andasya, darkness, dusparasya, difficult to cross, adya, now, paragam, crossing over, sat, transcendental, chakshu, eye, janmanam, a birth, ante, at the end, labdam, obtained, me, my, tvat, anugrahat, by your mercy. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Your Lordship is my only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance, because you are my transcendental I, which, by your mercy only, I have obtained after many, many births. Please repeat. Your Lordship is my only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance, because you are my transcendental I, which, by your mercy only, I have obtained after many, many births. Purport. This verse is very instructive, since it indicates the relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. The disciple, a conditioned soul, is put into this darkest region of ignorance and therefore is entangled in the material existence of sense gratification. It is very difficult to get out of this entanglement and obtain freedom. But one is fortunate enough to get the association of a spiritual master like Kapila Muni or his representative, then by his grace, one can be delivered from the mire of ignorance. The spiritual master is therefore worshipped as one who delivers the disciple from the mire of ignorance with the light of torch of knowledge. The word paragam is very significant. Paragam refers to one who can take the disciple to the other side. This side is conditioned life. The other side is the life of freedom. Spiritual master takes the disciple to the other side by opening his eyes with knowledge. We are suffering simply because of ignorance. By the instruction of the spiritual master, the darkness of ignorance is removed, and thus the disciple is enabled to go to the side of freedom. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that after many, many births, one surrenders to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, if after many, many births, one is able to find a bona fide spiritual master and surrender to such a bona fide representative of Krishna, one can be taken to the side of light. Tasya tvam tamasam dasya dusparasyadya paragam swachakshur janmanam ante labdvam me tvat anugrahat. Your Lordship is my only means of getting out of this darkest region of ignorance, because you are my transcendental lie, which by your mercy only I have obtained after many, many births. Namo Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Varcharane Nirvishesha Srinivadi Paskyadyade Satarane. Similar to the verse I read yesterday, that we have to approach the right source, a representative of Krishna, if not Krishna himself, if possible, and inquire from him submissively, render service, in order to get knowledge. Knowledge is twofold. One is knowledge of our real self as this eternal spiritual being. The other is the knowledge of the Supreme Self, Bhagavan. Knowledge of how to connect with the little self, with the Supreme Self. So that's actual knowledge. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains there are 19 different types of qualities of knowledge, beginning amadidvam, adambidvam, ahimsa, shanti, arjavam, acharya pasanam socham, styriam atma vinigraha, indriyarateshu vairagyam, anahankara evacha, janma mrityu jara vyadi, dukkha dosha nudarshana, asaktana vishvanga, putra dari grihadishu, nityacha samachishtatvam, ishto nishta papadishu, Mayi chanyanya yogena bhaktyava vicharini vivikta desha sevatvam aratir janma samsadi adhyatma jnana nityatvam tattva jnanartha darshanam etad jnana iti protam agana yadatonyataha. So for those who don't know Sanskrit, knowledge begins with amadidvam, humility. Even in the material world, people can't learn anything unless they have some respect for the person they're learning from. If you want to learn tennis and you think you're perfect at tennis, there's no teacher in the world who can teach you, because whatever they're teaching you is less than you know. So in any field, if you want to learn something, one has to become submissive, or at least recognize that someone knows more than I do. Amadidvam, adamidvam, and then one has to give up one's arrogance caused by pride. Amadidvam, adamidvam, ahimsa, shanti, arjavam. So other qualities such as nonviolence, tolerance, peacefulness, simplicity, and then if one acquires these qualities, which are more or less adding up to submission, then acharya pasanam socham. One can actually approach a teacher to learn something, what to speak of spiritual life, which is real knowledge. Unless we're humble, unless we're prideless, unless we're simple, unless we actually have good intentions, how are we going to learn anything about spiritual life? then there's possibility of acharya pasano socham styriam atma vinigraha. And one can learn develop the other qualities of knowledge. So knowledge is not academic knowledge. Knowledge is development of consciousness, ultimately leading to perfection of consciousness, which is bhakti. Therefore, there are two sides of learning. One is learning what to do, and the other is the mood, the consciousness in which to do it in. Therefore, generally our teachers are always chosen for two things. One, that they know better than what we do, because they're following better whatever the process is than we are. And the second is their ability to connect with us and transmit the teachings. It won't do us very good, even if we're associating with the most perfect, say, tennis player. If we don't like the tennis player, everything he says or she says, we don't like to listen to. We don't like what they're doing. We don't like anything about them. It's going to be very hard to acquire any knowledge about the science of whatever they know. So not only someone has to know, but they also have to have the ability to inspire us, to transmit the knowledge, so we can actually follow in their footsteps and apply it within our life. On the one hand, if they don't know what they're doing in the particular field that we're inquisitive about, even though they may be inspiring us, but they'll inspire us probably to go in the wrong direction. There are many people inspirational. There are many classes one can take to become inspired, how to inspire people. But the question, what are you inspiring them for? People are very inspired nowadays to go to hell. On the other hand, if one may have the right science, one may be expert, but no one listens to them because they don't inspire them to do anything. For instance, one may be very enthusiastic and very expert at collecting butterflies, but it's unlikely any of us are going to take up the hobby of collecting butterflies, even if we associate with them. And how much they're inspired, and how much they're expert at doing it, we're unlikely to be inspired by them because we don't have the interest. Therefore, everything is always divided into two things: inspiration and expertise, care and attention. Care would be inspiration, attention would be expertise. The art of Krishna consciousness, is Prabhupada writes in the Krishna book, is the art of focusing one's attention and giving one's love. So we can see some people pay very much attention to what they're doing, they're expert, but they don't actually love it, the activity. They're not inspired, and they can't inspire anyone else. They have some other motivation. In other words, to get out of ignorance, following the process of devotional service requires knowledge, expertise, as well as inspiration, enthusiasm. Not only tesham sadatam yuktanam, being able to be consistent, but also to be priti purvakam, to be loving. We can remain in a marriage for 100 years, and we may hate every minute of it. We're not very inspired by the marriage, although we're quite steady in it. On the other hand, we may be in love for 25 minutes, and then the relationship breaks for some reason or another. So the question is, which is more valuable? To stay in a relationship, of course this is mundane reality, to stay in a relationship for 100 years without any inspiration, or to stay in a relationship for a shorter period of time and be inspired in that relationship. As Prabhupada writes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived for only 48 years, but his life was full of ecstasy. But there are trees that live for thousands of years, and yet their lives are not very ecstatic. On the other hand, if we got $1 million or €1,000,000, whatever it is, or 10 million euros, we could only have it for 100,000th of a second, we wouldn't be very inspired by it. So it's always a combination of the two. Knowledge and inspiration. Knowledge refers to the intelligence, and inspiration is more or less within the mind. So knowledge is supposed to help inspire us. If the knowledge makes us depressed, it's not very good knowledge. After going to school for 30 years, you find out you're going to die. There's nothing else. It's not very exciting. So our intelligence is supposed to connect us with Krishna, and in that connection with Krishna, we're supposed to get inspiration, ecstasy. Our intelligence is trying to connect with so many different things, and generally speaking, when our intelligence connects us with something higher than what we're at now, then we feel inspired for some time. But then we get uninspired when we realize, in the material world at least, what I've just connected with my intelligence, what I've just achieved, what I'm experiencing now with my mind, is nothing different from what I experienced in the past. Maybe a little less anxiety, but more or less it's the same thing. I may become inspired to become a billionaire, and I may work very hard to achieve it, but once I become a billionaire, I still wind up just eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Therefore, actual knowledge is to use our intelligence, how to connect with Krishna, and then the mind, if it becomes ecstatic, then it actually becomes satisfied. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hariyaryas yo prajayate prasadam chetaso yasu buddhi paryavatishtate. So if one actually gets such mercy by regulating, Krishna says, attachment and aversion, raga dvesha vimuktais-tu vishan indriyasaran, atma vaisharvade atma prasadam adhikachati. By following the regular principles of freedom, every person could become free from attachment and aversion, and thus attain the complete mercy of the Lord. For one who is thus satisfied in transcendental life, the threefold miseries, material existence exists no longer. In such a state, one is actually feels satisfaction. By instruction, one can come to the platform of spiritual instruction, getting free from attachment and aversion, seeing everyone as Krishna's servant, and relating to others as Krishna's servant. It's not that we're just supposed to see everyone as Krishna's servant, and when we're eating our dead animal, we say a prayer for him and thanks. Thank you for donating your body to me. We're not only supposed to see how everyone is Krishna's servant, we're supposed to act in that platform. And acting in that platform means we're not supposed to be attached to trying to enjoy anyone, or we're not trying to be envious and destroy anyone. We're supposed to help everyone become conscious of Krishna. See ourselves as everyone's servant, all living entities' servants, and even if they're in a lesser form of life, then we chant Hare Krishna to them to help elevate them to Krishna consciousness. But on the other hand, so Krishna says that is the process of becoming satisfied. Following Krishna's directions, so we, through his representatives, and there are more than just representative, when we take initiation, the spiritual master the initiating guru doesn't make up his own philosophy. Now I become an initiating guru, now I'm free to tell my disciples whatever I feel like. No, the bona fide spiritual initiating guru, he repeats Shastra. The foundation is Shastra. And his disciples follow Shastra. That's his mercy. He repeats what it says in Shastra, according to time, place, and circumstance. But there are other gurus also, the Shiksha gurus. They're not supposed to say, well, your guru, he gave you instructions according to time, place, and circumstance, but he was wrong. This is what he should have told you. No, he says the same thing, the same philosophy, but he instructs also according to time, place, and circumstance, not contradicting the guru, because the guru, his instructions are Krishna's instructions, so their instructions are eternal, but the same instructions are also coming from the other gurus we have. And what are those instructions? It's not simply to become a robot and follow mechanically. The whole idea of the instructions is so that we can become more steady and more enthusiastic, more inspired in devotional service. So those who are more enthusiastic, those who are more steady in devotional service, they can also teach us how to become more enthusiastic and steady in devotional service. But there should be some kind of harmony between those who are giving instructions and those who are giving initiation. Otherwise, there will simply be confusion. Instead of inspiration and steadiness, there will be confusion. So, just like the mother and father, they're supposed to help the child grow up, but they're not supposed to contradict each other in front of the child. You should become a millionaire. No, you should become a priest. So the child grows up bewildered. What he's supposed to do. Can't do anything. He's simply, all in his mind is a conflict between his parents. So those who are more advanced than us in enthusiasm, steadiness, and devotional service, they should try to cooperate with each other in order to properly train those who are subordinate to them. Then there can be some kind of understanding what is actually supposed to be done, what is the actual vision that one should have, so that one can make progress in devotional service. And generally speaking, our progress will be made by working on the second-class Madhyama Adhikari platform. We may be Kanistha Adhikaris. As a matter of fact, anyone who comes to devotional service, if you're not the four Kumaras or Shukadeva Goswami, is more likely we've come out of distress or seeking comfort, or because we want to have our problems solved, or we want to get free from all our problems. But in order to get free, to actually become liberated from all our problems, in reality, we have to work on the second-class platform. Namely, to Ishvareta Dineshu, Palisheshu, Dvidvatsu Cha, Prema, Maitri, Kripopeka, Yet Karoti Samadhimaha. Namely, to try to love Krishna, serve Krishna, follow his instructions. As Lord Nityananda told everyone when he went door to door with Haridas Thakur, Bolo Krishna, Koro Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Bhaja Krishna, Koro Krishna, Shika. Chant Krishna's name, which is the primary service in this age. Bolo, Bhaja Krishna, and worship Krishna. And Koro Krishna, Shika. And follow Krishna's instructions. So this is how we love Krishna. In order to love Krishna, we cooperate with the devotees, because the devotees are also representatives of Krishna. We may worship the deity in the temple, but if we don't see the devotees in relationship to Krishna, then our vision will be very limited. Therefore, we cooperate with the devotees specifically to worship Krishna, either by pleasing Krishna in the temple or by acting as an instrument for expanding the Sankirtan movement in some way. And at the same time, we try to avoid unwanted association so that we can remain steady in enthusiastic in devotional service, and not become confused by bad association. So both our Shiksha Gurus and our Diksha Guru, they're supposed to lead us in how to perform worship of Krishna. They're supposed to show the example of cooperation amongst the devotees, saving the innocent, and at the same time avoiding those unwanted association. Otherwise, it's very difficult to make any tangible progress to actually the spiritual platform of awareness and get out of ignorance. So I'll stop there. Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
I want to ask if it's our fault if we are not inspired by some certain people who try to give us instructions and tell us what to do. Maybe we just are not inspired by the way they talk or the way they act or something. It's not that we don't acknowledge they are right or their instruction is valid, but maybe we are not inspired by something. Is it our fault? And
Yeah, of course it
how
is.
to change that?
Well, follow the process. Try to recognize that it's our fault, first of all, because otherwise we think, there's something wrong with the other person.
No, but can you be inspired by everyone, like you commend yourself to be inspired?
No,
by
you
some
can't,
person?
not artificially. But we should understand it's a problem. Because if we were in full spiritual consciousness, if we were pure, we'd most likely see everyone as a better servant of Krishna than us, and be inspired all the time. We'd be in love with everyone. But right now we don't love everyone. So therefore we have to purify ourselves. So we recognize the fault within ourselves, but we can't artificially just change it. We have to purify ourselves by following the process. But at least we should recognize the fault, and therefore we won't criticize them, subtly or grossly, whatever.
And how can we follow someone who does not inspire us?
By duty. That's our duty. We should use our intelligence, figure out what Krishna wants me to do, what Krishna's representatives want me to do. Then when we find out what they want us to do by humble inquiry and patient, humble inquiry, and when it becomes clear what they want us to do, then we should do it, even if we don't want to do it. The child doesn't want to go to school, but the parents don't say, oh, he doesn't want to go to school, he's not inspired, and leave him at home for 20 years until he gets inspired.
But they can act or talk to him or show him a different situation to inspire him.
Maybe not. If the child's not inspired, they used to go to school anyhow. So our first business is to use our intelligence to find out what to do, not our minds to figure out what to do. We stand on the mental platform and decide everything by our mental desires. We'll never go anywhere. Matter of fact, we're most likely in Kali Yuga to go to the darkest regions, following our mind. So we have to use our intelligence and do things. Krishna said, Yat tadagre vishamiva parinami ritopamam tat sukham satyukam proktam atma buddhi prasadaja. That which in the beginning may be bitter like poison, and the end is like nectar, which awakens one to self-realization, said to be happiness, the mode of goodness. So it may be bitter, but we have to use our intelligence to find out what Krishna wants us to do. It's not that everyone, whether they inspire us or don't inspire us, are telling us actually what Krishna wants us to do. That requires study, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, understanding things properly. Then we'll be able to hear whether it's Krishna's desire or not. So someone may inspire us greatly, and we may follow them, but they may lead us completely in the wrong direction. And someone else may be giving the exact directions we need, but we're not inspired, so we leave that aside. But we won't go any, that extent we're denying ourselves progress in spiritual life. But especially if we follow what Krishna wants us to do when we don't want to follow, then Krishna sees we're sincere, or when there's some difficulty. And that's when he gives the greatest mercy. Not when I'm just doing whatever, yes, Krishna, what should I do? Well, I don't like that. Can you give me another choice? No, I don't like that either. 3 strikes and you're out. All right, I'm inspired. I'll do that. I like doing that. That's what I want to do. Thank you very much for being so merciful, finally coming up with the right answer. No, Krishna will be most inspired, will give us the greatest mercy when we actually pass the test. When we don't want to do something, or it's not comfortable to do it, but we do it anyhow, in order to please Krishna, or at least to do our duty. Yes?
In this stage, when we are at the beginning, how can we avoid getting resentful by doing something that we don't like to do?
Don't listen to the mind.
If we are in the beginning, then we will listen to the mind.
Don't keep on chanting the mantra, I'm in the beginning, I should listen to my mind. I have a valid reason to listen to my mind. I've been in the movement for 20 years, but I'm just at the beginning. Or 2 years or 6 months. I know I shouldn't do it, but it's so new, I'm so new, I should do it. That's just the mind chanting, it's mantra to us. Maya, yoga chalati manasa. Maya is very tricky. We know it's the mind, we know exactly what's going on, but we just are comfortable listening to our mind. So we'll come up with so many excuses why not to follow. Yes?
Știm că în clipa morții sufletul se desprinde foarte greu de acest corp datorită atașamentului puternic pe care îl am. Da, așa și vreau să spun că sunt persoane care s-au contrazis, că a spus că ei au văzut persoane care au murit foarte liniștiți. Și întrebarea este că, ce să înțeleg, aparent că au murit liniștiți?
Sometimes people die very peacefully, although we see that they are attached to their bodies and like that. Should we understand that it is only apparent that they left their body peacefully?
Well, I mean, there's so many endless varieties of way people live their lives and leave their bodies. It's hard to say. I'm not an expert at that field. I can't really say. But if one is living a sinful life, they may die very peaceful. But when the Yamadutas catch hold of them, they won't be very peaceful. People can die peacefully, so-called peacefully in their sleep, but that may be the last moment of peace for a while. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanande.
Prahladananda Maharaj ki jai.